In this video, what I'm going to be walking you through is how I position my clients as one-of-one using what I like to call the case study method. Now, by no means is this method my own methodology. I actually got it from Nick Cosman over at Growth Consulting. However, it's very effective, so I do want to share it with you because I use it for my clients and it gets really good results. Now, if you don't already know who I am, my name's Shay Detheri and I'm the founder of AcquisitionGrowthPartner.com, and we partner with established marketing agencies to help them add an additional 50 to 100K a month within around 5 to 10 months. Now, for you to implement on the case study method, first you need to reach out to your best clients. So you want to go ahead and pick your 3 best clients. If you have more, you can do 5 and reach out to them with this script. Hey Naeem, I've really enjoyed working with you and looking forward to seeing how far we can scale your results. I was wondering if you'd be open to doing a quick 15-minute interview walking through some of the highlights and results we've achieved since partnering together. Would you be opposed to that? Now, if you've gotten someone good results and you have a good relationship with them, unless they're very, very busy, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't carve out 15 minutes to help you out. Because it'd be a win-win, right? You're helping them, they're helping you, and it's a win-win relationship. Now, that's predicated on the idea that you have a good relationship, and you are getting good results. I wouldn't recommend reaching out to someone who maybe you're getting good results at the start and the results aren't as good anymore because the things that they might say might not align with the objective that you're trying to achieve, which with these types of case study interviews, you're trying to build trust with prospects because these will be invaluable marketing assets that you use when you're reaching out to new prospects. You can reference them and send them over. So let's say you actually reach out to these people, right? And your clients agree, and then you get them on the call. You want to get them on a Zoom call, be like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, depending how much you're actually probing and how deep you're going. Like say, for example, you ask them a question and maybe you probe on that. It might go a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but typically around 15 to 30 minutes, depending on your process. So before the interview starts, let's say you have them on the call and you're sitting across to them, you have them on Zoom. You want to start off by saying, hey Naeem, great to have you here. How's it going? Break the ice, just find out how they've been. And then say, great. So I don't want to take too much of your time, but before we start the interview, I just want to get the bullet notes and then we can start. Does that work? Get agreements on that. And then you just let them know that they can be pretty casual throughout the interview and that you'll send the edited version of the interview after the call. So this is how you'd start it off. So the red is the script for when it's starting. Now, this is the part where you would start recording, or this would be the part that you start recording, or you either record from this part or you edited it up to this part because you don't really need this much. You're just framing the interview. It's like the case study interview. So like where they were before, where they were now. So you started off like, so let's just quickly recap the before and after state. When did you start with us? And so this one's specifically for e-commerce agencies. So it'd be like, and how much revenue were you generating through Google and what was the ROAS? And then you'd ask, okay, and after working with us, how much revenue have you generated through Google and what's the ROAS that we're at now? Just to get a really good picture of here's where you were before, here's where you were after, and now you've painted, this is where you were, this is where you are, and then you can get into the depth of the interview. So you say, okay, great, let's get started. So tell me a little bit more about your business and the niche that you operate within. This is just calling out the niche so that if someone's actually watching, they'll resonate a lot more, specifically if they're in that same niche. And you ask them what they were doing before they were working with us, just to get an idea of some of the challenges, some of the problems that they were facing as well with this one. And then since partnering with us in as much detail as you're comfortable sharing, what results did we help you achieve once we partnered together? It's because you want to show that your service is responsible from taking them from what they were doing before to where they are now, so that it positions you really well, especially for people that you go ahead and send this over to. Like say, for example, if you're doing cold prospecting, they say, show me some of your case studies and you send it over. It gives you a really good idea that you're the one responsible for helping them to achieve those results. Then the next one you would ask is, where have you gotten the most value from partnering with us? Because wherever they're gotten the most value, if you're constantly hearing from the interview, that's where they're getting the most value, then that's where you'd shift your focus towards in your service. Just placing emphasis on that part, because that'd be like the 80-20 rule. It'd be like 20% of the service that's driving 80% of the result. So you'd ask that one, and if you're seeing a consistent pattern across multiple of your case study interviews, we get a really good idea as to what part of your service is most valuable for your customers. And another one is like this one. So this is the one that we use for us because a lot of people use pay-per appointment agencies, and instead of like them partnering with a pay-per appointment agency, I like to get the idea of why they actually partnered with us. So an example that you would use for yourself is, what made you partner with us? Like instead of, say for example, if you worked on a retainer plus performance basis, you could ask something along the lines of, there are a lot of companies, what made you decide to partner with us instead of just like, some run-of-the-mill performance agency that just charges on performance? Something along the lines of that. You could just change that question. Last one, how did you hear about us? How do we get connected? What would you say to people sitting on the fence? And then customer feedback. This one's really important because there might be parts of your service that you can improve, so you like to ask that, but when you edit it, you just wouldn't have that one in the actual case study interview. And for this one, say for example, you got connected over cold email, someone watching that you reached out to on cold email, they'll be like, oh, this person's like me, like this person's now a client and he reached out to them via cold email too. Okay, that makes sense. And then you want to end the interview off by just saying, thank you for your time, we'll get this edited and we'll send this over to you before we publish it. Thank you so much. And then that's that. Now, the first hurdle that you'll have to overcome when you're trying to reach out to people, especially with cold prospecting, is building trust and giving them the conviction that you can actually do what you promised, and just making sure that you can actually replicate those results for them. Now, having case studies and collecting case studies this way, that actually helps you achieve that, because it makes it more believable. Because let's contrast that when you collecting case studies this way versus collecting case studies in like a 2-minute video testimonial or like maybe some screenshots on your website. That doesn't really tell the prospect much of anything. So when you collect the case studies this way, it builds a lot more trust and it positions you as someone that can actually deliver on what they say they're going to do. Now, I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, make sure you go ahead and implement it. And if you do implement it and you get some results, make sure you leave a comment below letting me know how you actually went with that. Now, if you're on an established marketing agency that's doing at least $20,000 per month and you have at least 3 good case studies and you want to add an additional 50 or 100K a month within the next 5 to 10 months, click the first link that's in the description. Now, you don't have to, you're not obliged to at all. The main thing is that you just watch these videos and receive value from it. But thank you for watching this video. I'll see you later.